Welcome back, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D tale, Session 20. Where we left off, General Sarix, the military officer to Lord Kaiji in the city of Gombe, has taken their necromancer hostage, as well as interrogated individual with him back to wherever it is that he goes. And the rest of you have been left with the newcomer to the party, Kurobe Watanabe, the a friend of General Sarix and former adventurer. Maybe went on many, many a thing that he'd done in his past. But that leaves the Lucky Sevens and Mr. Watanabe all together to perhaps talk more. Eventually go to sleep, of course, as it is very late in the evening. What do you do? Oh, for some reason I lost Kinwin's video. Hello?
Yeah,
Hello.
we're here. Still here.
Oh, because I had said, "What do you do?" and nobody answered me.
And then you went straight to trying to fix camera stuff.
Kinwin.
Oh, yeah, because Kinwin, you can keep going. That's not going to require anything from you guys.
I'm thinking.
Like the cat speak with the animals as a ritual spell,
Okay.
and then find a bird.
Okay. Finding. I mean, there's plenty of city wildlife. What are you intending to find a bird to talk to them about?
To see if I can ask them to send a message to the druids of Surefall Glades.
That would be beyond what it's capable of telling you or doing, unless you have a command sort of spell, like Gaius or something like that.
Okay, I didn't. So then, never mind.
You can speak with them, you can get information from them, but them being able to follow complex commands like that is tricky at best.
I think
Well, it says they can do a small favor at the GM's discretion, but apparently this is too big of a favor, so no problem.
Yeah, because it's asking the bird to remember a message that it would have to travel miles and miles to deliver.
Yeah.
So it's
I think there's an animal messenger spell though.
Yeah, there is.
That does that.
That does that. It's just whether or not druids have that available to them.
Yeah.
If it is on the druid list, you'd be able to prepare it for the next day. But yeah, that is a very, very complex thing for an animal to do, and most birds are not that bright. But,
what is Kinwin wanting to do? Has he voiced anything to the party?
Yeah, we have usually been secluded from the politics of the kingdom, but I believe with this, what's his name? Lord Kaiji serving the Whispered One, that it might be time for the druids to step up and support his opponent.
Be interesting.
that is
From
something.
what I've...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. From what I've understood, then, for many years, the Druids have been in relation to the land itself. They have no interest in politics, as you've said. What makes you think that that's going to change?
Lord Kaiji is involved with the necromancy, and I believe that may have something to do with the imbalance in the land that I was sent to investigate.
Do you not consider that maybe their own position might endanger those communities?
Yes, but if a servant of the Whispered One takes the throne, we will all be endangered anyway.
This is true. Rune is
Might be
gonna.
worth a shot.
It would. Perhaps even we could be granted an ambassador, or, more specifically, grant Kinwin ambassadorship. The Druids and Hermitages have not been involved up until this point, but to know that they would be at a party interested in the politics of the land, people of it, might be intriguing to many parties involved, including Lord Kaiji himself. It is a realm of power that we might be able to invest in. As for nobilities within the region, Kurobe, was it?
Yes.
What do you know of political parties and nobility in these parts? Nope.
Oh,
Who did we
lost
lose?
Someone.
Oh, Raven.
No. Okay. Back again.
What would I know of the? Would I know anything special outside of general knowledge?
What was the question specifically pertaining to again?
Nobles in the area.
Who you would know out of the nobility? Okay.
Yeah, like would I know any, have any clout anywhere, or do any, maybe no secrets, no like rumors.
Well, there's not a whole lot in D&D as to a streetwise, a streetwise statistics. So let me actually look at the character sheet. What that would be? That would be. I would say let's make that a history check.
A history check?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. I got a -2 in that.
Oh no. All right.
Yeah.
He's kind of dumb.
Yep. Oh no, I thought that was a 1. No. That's a 5.
Oh no. Yeah. It's a little hard to recall their names. You probably have seen a couple of faces before. You've probably had a bit of a a bit of a showing off when it came to some of your bigger deeds back in the day. God, if you could only remember their name.
Yeah, it's been so long. And after they all blend together. They're all the same usually. I mean, I don't know. Some may know me, but I couldn't recall anybody specific, to be honest.
That's unfortunate. You mentioned that your own guild ship might be able to call upon some nobles, collect them.
It is possible we could trade in on the name of the guild. We are well known in the area.
There might be others who remember their names far better than you do.
Yes, we can go see a friend of mine at the guild tomorrow. He might remember some of the names better.
I believe that would be most opportunistic. Let's take the chance and see if there are any nobles who might be able to follow along with our current cause. We're not
agree.
going to. We are not going to speak of our suspicions of Lord Kaiji, but merely see if there is a chance that we could bring together a celebration of nobles, so to speak. Lord Hero, as we've been told, would probably be the first to canvass, on account of the fact that he might be the one to patron the party itself. But while we're here, I think it does us well to connect to those who we can. Vanya. That monster hunter friend of yours. Do you think he possibly, might know anyone as well within local provinces, other lordships?
He might. He's been out here for quite a while. I can talk to him tomorrow, too.
Would you all like me to stay here with you, or should I return to my own lodgings and we meet at the guild?
Well, the general said for you to stay here, so...
Alright. Is there a place that I can bunk up then?
It is pretty cramped quarters in the bunk space of the of the church at this point. You
Follow
would
me.
know that.
You and I will go to Bell's.
Who and what will go where?
You and I are going to Bell's.
Ah. Where's this at?
Rune will give the rough estimate location. It's pretty close.
It's the place you and I first met. Yeah.
Bell's Tavern, okay.
Yeah, that's where we were standing at. I will tell Rune, that she's closed for the night. Whether you can get in or not. She was already closed before I even got back.
You're in processes for a moment. I see. Then Kurobe and I will find another location that is open and available at this time. Do not worry about lodging. I'll take care of it.
Well, ST, would I have a room at the guild?
You would know there's
my
some
own
lodging,
personal
but there's not a
residence?
whole lot. You would have your own personal.
Where would I call home?
You would call home somewhere in the sort of middle class district.
How big is it? Would it be big enough for them to stay there?
Yeah, it would be big enough for all of them to stay. You would have a couple of guest rooms that would have some fairly large beds, and then of course there's always other spaces like the living space and other things. You kind of live by yourself.
Yeah. Okay, I do have a decent enough. Well, this is all well and good, but why don't you all just come with me?
Very well.
There's no point in having this cramped space when quite frankly, I have more room than I know what to do with.
All right. So all of you are headed off to the to Crudo Bay's house.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess so.
All right.
Yep.
So you all travel in the middle of the night towards the middle district. You see some guards are kind of there posted there. But Kudo Bay, you kind of talk your way past them as you have residents up in that district, and the whole party is allowed past. And so you make your way from the slums into a better kept portion of the city. And so you make your way towards the house and find that there are a couple of rooms, so that each of you, can, if you would like to, sleep separately, but, there are some rooms where you can also bunk together. Lagon's probably going to sleep on the floor. Either way.
Poor
Wherever
Lagon.
wherever Lagon is, I'm going to be, and I'll be using minor illusion to do like that white noise, the thunder and like rain sound for him to help him try and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Rune is going to position himself in the hallway where between the rooms where everyone decided to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to go into sentry mode with his giant wrench kind of held up almost as if he were holding it like a sword.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show everybody around to the different areas wherever they decide to sleep, if they decide to bunk together or decide to take advantage of the bed space. I'd probably go into, what do they call it, a larder, the storage area for meat in the like a cool box, and get I imagine I have something with maybe a little meat on it, but a big bone, and I'll walk by and hand it to the Vanya's pup to keep him occupied for the night.
He
just go about my business.
He kind of looks at you, kind of cocks his head a little bit, kind of walks up a little sheepishly before yanking it from you and taking it to where Vanya's sleeping.
I'll get used to you over time. It's been a stressful few nights.
I'd imagine. Well, I will be up in the top floor if should anybody need anything. Help yourselves, make yourselves at home. Just clean up after yourselves. That's all I ask.
All right. Kurdo Bay takes his master bedroom, of course. The others of you can sleep on the floor or in the beds of the guest room. Rune is taking his usual sentry position between all of the rooms in the hallway, doing his sort of low power mode. And so you all get a full night's rest. Nothing comes to assail you. Nothing comes to harm you. You get a peaceful night's rest for the rest of the night, whatever may be left of it. Vanya, you're the first to really kind of wake up because you only really need 4 hours of rest, and that rest is usually kind of a half sleep, sort of a trance, more or less. That you're still mostly aware of your surroundings. So, with with you and Rune kind of in the sort of half half sleep mode between the two of you, nothing can get past you as far as sneaking around. So you were the first to wake, as everyone else still needs another 4 hours. So what do you do with that time to yourself? And possibly Rune.
Gee.
He's the only other one awake, quote unquote.
Right. She's probably going to check in with him, leaving Zephyr behind in the room.
He's still munching on that juicy sand dog bone.
And then, probably just go explore the house a little bit.
You find that there's, crates and cupboards. That the cupboards have, the various different things. You see that there is a sort of storage box for keeping like cured meats and things like that. That way that they stay preserved. You see, various cooking supplies and a pretty standard kitchen. There's a table with only a couple chairs. It's not really meant for a big family party, but it suffices for a single adult who is living on his own. You see that everything kind of has this sort of elegance to it. It might be made out of stone and wood, but it's still very elegant to look at. He's put a lot of time and effort into this place, possibly with the hopes of having had a family, or maybe had hoped to have a family. You're not sure because there's no one else who lives here. But perhaps all of his family is already gone. Kids have moved on. Maybe spouse has passed away. Who knows? You don't really know a whole lot about him, but
giving her a better sense of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what she was going after.
You do see that kind of along some mantelpieces and bookshelves that there's some commendations from local who's that there's and there's even a painting question mark of himself and a couple of others when he was younger. His hair hasn't completely whited out yet. It's maybe still black. But you see a younger Karthus, a younger elf woman, and a couple of other people you haven't seen before. One's kind of an older human, and then that's what you see in the picture.
Huh. Seems like we may be going to talk to the same people tomorrow. Or rather in the morning. After she's done exploring, she'll start heading back to the room. Probably feel Rune's eyes on her, because if he is standing there protecting the party and she just decided to go out and explore.
He's watching from his standing point.
Silent judging, silent judging, silent judging.
No, he'll keep to a low voice. Find anything.
Well, it seems like he and Karthus may be in the same guild. They certainly know each other. Oh, two birds, one stone.
Oh,
We'll
and
have
another
have,
thing, another thing you did notice, however, is that there is a small shrine also in the house, and it is dedicated to the Platinum Dragon.
He's a follower of the Platinum Dragon. A lot of commendations for deeds done here and there, and he's put a lot of effort into this place.
I can presume that he's more honor-bound than some of the individuals we've encountered up.
Seems so.
Knowing he's a part of the same guild as Karthus makes me also less concerned. If his devotions were fully centralized here, and his faction itself was also fully centralized within the city, I'd be far more suspicious.
As would I. I honestly started to relax a little bit more when I saw the photo of them together.
They've known each other.
Yeah, for a little while it seems. Photos back when Karthus was quite a great deal younger. Probably taken not too long after he got to the city.
That's somewhat encouraging.
It is.
Friends of friends. Rune processes for a moment. Did you sleep well?
Very well. How about you? Considering you have to you stand during the whole thing.
By technicalities, I am still resting.
And that's going to get a little bit of a laugh from her. Like, fair enough.
It is strange. Sometimes I experience dreams, though not often.
Do you dream of?
Things I don't believe I've experienced. As if
In what
memories.
way?
It's like memories playing back. And sometimes I see certain faces, people. Sometimes I see someone he pauses. Well, sometimes I think I see you.
What makes you say that you haven't experienced these?
Memory such as that is. I imagine it would be reserved for flesh and blood. There are certain cycles, biologically speaking, would be necessary for function, but
We still don't know your origins. Could be that those memories are yours. We can't say for sure until we know.
then perhaps you could hypothesize with me.
Perhaps.
Why do I see you there?
Maybe it's not me. Maybe it's someone who simply looks like me. Is she an elf?
Ruin things for a moment. I am not certain.
Well, people do tend to look alike once in a while. You may just have a type.
Rune, you can see that Rune is a bit taken aback by that. Yeah, he turns his gaze, flustered. I'm also uncertain of that.
Seem to be uncertain about a lot of things.
Only when it pertains to myself. But when it pertains to you, or I suppose party as well. There is a lot I am certain of.
Well then, we'll have to work on the other part. And have you running around being uncertain about yourself at all times?
It is an active investigation. We have our priorities.
We do. There's a lot we can learn along the way as well. Like that book you got from the professor. I don't know what it says, but he made sure that you were to get it. What Kinwin said.
Would you like to know what it says?
I would. If you don't mind sharing.
Rune puts his finger out and just does the come here motion. He pulls the book out from his chest and opens it up. And he will quietly start reading it to Vanya.
All right.
And as he's reading, she's just going to lean up against him.
The introduction to the book reads as much like any other author's introduction to any book. Supposedly written from the point of view of the Platinum Dragon. To you who may be reading this, the war has taken great toll. Perhaps you are a surviving member of my clan. Perhaps you are a doppel. In any case, you should know that we were all wrong. My father stood by while his compatriots summoned Neruth, freeing it from its banishment to the sky. He rejected what they had planned to do. And I stand by him, wherever he may be. For justice was not served that day. Instead, vengeance. I hope by reading this account, you understand that the deeds of men, of titans, of dragons, of giants, of gods, all of them have consequences. And Rune, another memory. A memory of a tiny dragon wormling. Small but brilliant. A shining platinum, a color you've not seen ever. But you were there. You were there at his birth. You knew the Platinum Dragon. You are the father to the Platinum Dragon.
And Rune will keep this to himself as he's processing this information. It seems impossible. Dragons are extinct. They're all but extinct. And Rune is not of flesh. And as he thinks on that, he kind of pauses and looks over to Vanya, who at this point, I imagine the two of them sat down in the hallway, kind of cuddling together. Vanya, her warm body leaning up into him. She who is soft. And his entire self, inside and outside, not having that same familiarity. Distant. Feeling cold. to want to such an extent to have a family, hell, even to love. Those aren't things for him. Those are not things for Rune. But still, he remains and continues reading to Vanya. And he will do so until others wake up and exit their rooms.
All right. The rest of you do wake. And you do hear that there is the sort of quiet sort of talking coming from Rune outside the door. And when you all peer out, you see that he and Vanya have gotten together to... And it looks like he's reading to her. But he stops as soon as you all start coming out, Absorber.
Yep.
Seeing that everyone's starting to come out, she is going to get up and just kind of stretch. Just wait for him to get up.
Rune will get up and help Vanya as well. And we'll greet the rest of the party as they come out. Good morning.
You guys sleep well?
Would I have came down from my room as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd mosey down and... Yes, I did. Hopefully you all found the lodging amenable.
I'll just say it's been a little while since I've gotten to stretch out without Zephyr being right there.
But cuddling up next to something like that, I don't think I've ever slept as good. But we should see about some breakfast and plan their day.
Until he starts putting those claws into your mid-back.
And he's a big boy.
Well,
He's a very big boy. And still growing.
Well, let's go see about some breakfast.
He says breakfast, but it's probably about noon by the time everyone wakes up. So, it is...
Oh, yeah. We were up pretty late, weren't we?
You were up pretty late. It was nearing sunrise when you went to sleep, and so Vanya, only needs a very short period of time, but the rest of you need 8 hours, and so it's closer to noon about when you wake up. So, midday brunch.
Yes. I'll go down and I'll check and see if I have anything that we can do. If not, make a quick walk to like a corner store or stall and pick up something.
Yep, it's easy enough to go down to the market, but most all of the sort of fresh bakery goods or those sorts of things have all kind of been sold out for the morning, and so you're left with you're left with lunchtime affairs when it comes to the different restaurants or markets or anything like that. So everyone's got their lunchtime dinners and grocery and everything else in the in the market as of right now. And when you all look at this market, it is much bigger than the one at in the one in the slums. It is definitely very well stocked, and so it comes with the everything's very very better off.
I'd probably go to a couple of my favorite stalls, picking up some vegetables,
Mm.
maybe a new slab of bacon or whatever meat looks like nice and fresh, and maybe they have deals on. You know how if you shop there, the people. They're like, yeah, we got this in. I'll give you a good deal on it. Just shop around and get some of my favorite things.
All right. It's going to cost you about a gold to get enough to feed everyone.
Okay.
You're not sure if Rune eats or not, so you account for him anyway.
He would have told Kurobe ahead of time, I do not eat.
Okay.
Because this has happened enough at this point.
His portion goes
like,
to the dog.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Feed the dog.
God, you're
Very
gonna
well.
spoil that dog.
Yes, I am. You're damn right I'm going to.
Hey, who's to say that Rune hasn't been feeding his servings to Zipper anyways?
Well, explain why he's grown so fast.
Just leaves him under the table.
He's big, and he's a little chunky.
Yes, breakfast is on me today. He thank you for welcoming me last night. Normally people are more suspicious, but I'm hoping that we can get along.
I don't see why we wouldn't. If you don't mind, but I did take a look around your house this morning.
Oh, hopefully you like what you saw.
Actually, no, a friend of mine. Well, it seems.
Oh, do I?
Arthas.
Yes. He has always been an interesting man. He is who I started the guild with. He's runs it for me since I decided to come out of retirement.
He's the reason I became a ranger.
Really?
Saved me from an owlbear 50 or so years ago.
Oh. That must have been... That was probably right before I met.
Well, if he's ever told you about a small town in Hessen called Hazelmeyer, it was around then.
He's mentioned it a couple times. A few times,
Yes,
actually.
I'm sure he's mentioned it before.
Especially recently.
Yeah, I think the last time we were drinking coffee, he was reminiscing. He's always been a good man, though. Me and him, we would go a little bit wild and drive our parties crazy. But
Yeah, he had a tendency of driving me crazy too. No, that never changed.
Nope. But here, let me finish cooking up this real quick. I'm just doing like a quick stir fry with some meat, and like probably got a loaf of bread. Just like a big communal pot of like dig in, eat what you like. Sorry if you're a vegetarian, it was cooked with meat. If you're a vegetarian, I'll cook it separate next time. But no one told me.
I don't think there is a vegetarian on the party.
Okay, good. That makes things easier. And I'll grab my portion, and I'm going to go sit in my living room, and I'm going to get my swords out, and as I'm eating, going to clean and oil them and get them ready for the day.
All right. Everybody gets to their daily routines. Things are well and good and in order. What do you do after everything is prepared, eaten? It's probably about an hour past noon when you all finish with your daily routines and food eating.
Can I cast 2 ritual spells at once?
Not at once. Consecutively, you can do one right after the other.
Take time, but I don't want to mess with their duration. Does a ritual spell still count as an action?
No, it takes 10 minutes to cast. So if you wanted to do one of your spells that's usually an action, it takes 10 minutes. If the usual casting time is a minute, then it's 11 minutes in total for a ritual. So on and so forth.
So I'd like to cast Speak with Animals first level as a regular spell, and then Animal Messenger as a ritual spell. And then when that, find me a little birdie.
All right. So doing that, it's only going to cost you the one spell slot since you're doing the ritual. And you kind of venture to find a bird, kind of calling out in the sort of ways that a bird does with your speak with animals, because it gives you the ability to speak with them. And you eventually find yourself a bird to speak with, and you cast Animal Messenger on it, so long as you have it sort of lured and in this lured, which is easy enough to do because you can take some of the seeds and things from your rations and feed it to them. And okay, so what would you like to ask?
Hello there, how are you doing?
Good. Food?
I do have some food.
Food?
How about a favor to ask you? Would you be able to carry a message?
It kind of cocks his head in a very very kind of weird sort of way. And is this about when you've finished up Animal Messenger?
Yes, that's when I'll bring it.
Okay. So you finish your Animal Messenger spell finishes, and that grants you the ability to uh, to send it off as a messenger beast. What message do you want it to carry, and to whom?
I'll show him my staff with the white lotus on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell him, I need you to go to Showfall Glades,
Mm-hmm.
find the first person you see with a white lotus on their staff or armor, and then tell them, Lord Kaijin serves the Whispered One, involved in necromancy, may have something to do with land imbalance, highly suggests supporting his opponent. Neutrality is unsustainable, which is exactly 25 words.
Love it. Love to see it. All right. So it kind of nibbles on some of the food that you're using to kind of keep it in place as you're doing this, listening to the message. And then what you hear from it is that it repeats the message sort of over and over again, and then starts to fly off. Whether it reaches its destination, you're probably going to have to guess as to how long it's going to take. Probably several days. But the spell lasts as long as it takes to get to the person to send the message, yes?
It actually says duration 24 hours.
24 hours? Okay. So it is going to... You...
So maybe I could have sent it to the one of the closer camps.
You would kind of know of a sort of space within 24 hours of this place that could be kind of piggybacked on, but um, you know that it's a few days at least away for a bird to fly to any one of the camps too. So it's maybe a day and a half, 2 days to a camp, and then Shorefall Glades is kind of across the desert the other way. So it's a couple of weeks away.
So then it looks like this isn't gonna work.
Might not, yeah. You might be able to send it to somebody different, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I'd be able to send it to be able to get a message to the druid.
Yeah, they tend to have they tend to be very isolation, so getting getting a message to them quickly could be a sending. So if you have sending or know somebody in your party who would have sending, that would be another way to do it. Um, the other option is you could for the animal messenger you could always kind of save it for when there's a time needed that that you sort of issue that command that you know, if you wanted to use it for some other reason or some other message to send to someone else within 24 hours of you.
You know what? I'm gonna go for chance.
Okay.
I'm just gonna tell him to fly into Twilight Grove and search around for 24 hours and see if he sees anyone with the white lotuses.
Okay. And then any person that has that white lotus that they provide your message to. Okay.
Yes.
And
In case anyone is wondering, my druid subclass is the one with like the secret order, which I decided is the Order of the White Lotus.
Nice, very nice, love it. So you send off the bird. It kind of makes that beeline from Combe to towards the Twilight Grove forest, and since it's doing kind of a straight shot, you know, it's possible that somebody will get that message within that 24 hours. High or low?
Oh.
All right. Noted. I have rolled a die, and I have an outcome for you. You may have to wait.
Coffee has made a note.
But who else is doing something else today?
I would, after getting everything together, I would just kind of get a general consensus. Plans for the day. I plan on. Did we want to go talk to Carthus and see what he can remember? Or do you guys have other plan?
I think starting with Carthus might be our best bet. Can move forward from there.
I'm in agreement. I will accompany as necessary.
Well, I guess we're going to the Slayer's division then.
All right, to the Slayer's division it is. Which isn't too far. It's kind of a little bit of a ways. Kind of like rides on the inside of the middle district, inside the walls, kind of right next to one of the gates. And and so you do know that Carthus and Jalissa, uh, the two members who are often here, uh, do uh, do take up lodgings here, so they're here most of the time. Um, and so when you come in, you see that Jalissa's got her feet propped up. She's already kind of sipping on a coffee, maybe a beer. Who knows? It's really hard to judge sometimes when it comes to her. But you see that Carthus has been um, kind of counting some coin to kind of get an idea of his of what he can actually pay for when it comes to bits and pieces of different things. Which you still have bits and pieces of sand dogs to cash in if you'd like. Do you? Or did you? Or did you already do that?
The only thing we have left is some of the meat.
To the meat. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you've already cashed in the hides that you wanted. And so, uh, he kind of looks up and says, "Oh, oh, oh! Now you've met now."
Long story that, but yes.
I bet it's
small
in.
world, Carthus.
Yeah. Who knew? Well, that's interesting.
That was my way of thinking too when I figured out that you two knew each other.
Well, yeah, that's two worlds colliding, I suppose. Well, what brings you to the Slayers division? Looking for more jobs?
That might be a side project, but do you? I can't remember the names of the nobles that we used to run around with and serve and do jobs for. And I'll lay out the whole thing of just wanting general information on like different nobles. I'm not telling him why or like everything. I just want to see what he remembers. If he remembers we have any contacts or you know.
He kind of thinks about it for a moment. Oh, there was the one very beautiful sort of beast folk woman. Oh, I forget her first name, but she's from from the Idril family.
Would that spark anything with me?
Roll me another history check.
All right. We'll go with 13. That's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible. You can't remember her first name either, but you can see her face. She's very lean, very lithe. She's kind of got this sort of elegance to her that it's very sort of in terms of what bird she kind of looks like is she's very lithe sort of black falcon sort of look. Um, she's very well known. She's the daughter of the Idril house, and which is a fairly prominent noble house in the city. Uh, very very monetarily wealthy, and she's kind of the heiress to the house, as it were, as she is their only child. Um, and so she's um, predominantly known for her philanthropy. But other businesses that she kind of invests in is mundane goods when it comes to like different households necessity items. She's definitely big um, into starting shops and getting things like mundane goods to those who need them. She has occasionally done fundraising events in the slums, but they're kind of few and far between, and usually centered around local holidays.
Okay. And this is for this city?
Yep, this is for Kombe.
Okay. Okay, just making sure. Yes, I do remember. I can't remember her name either. She was very pleasant, though, and very noble for one such as well off as she was.
If only I can remember her first name. It's there 1 minute and it's gone.
Nothing more amusing than watching two old men trying to remember something.
Carthus just kind of narrows his eyes a little bit playfully at you. It takes a drag from a cigarette.
And she's just smiling innocently.
Cute. Well,
we also might be doing a bit of traveling in the near future.
Oh.
If you could scare up that, where's the other noble that we were supposed to go see?
For the other lord is in White Ridge, which
How far away is that?
About a month and a half northwest of where you are now, across the desert.
Okay.
That's on foot.
And that's who we're trying to get to a party here.
Yep.
Okay.
You know that message service tends to travel a little faster, but we
might be heading that way, so maybe we can scare up some work to help cut the costs of travel. You know how we used to do things.
Well, it's a long trip on foot, but capital city to capital city, some of the rich folk actually go by airship.
How much is that running nowadays?
Oh, gosh. 50 gold a person? And that's for a passenger flight.
Yes.
What are you planning on going to White Ridge for?
Just some business.
Business? Well, I personally don't have any business in White Ridge, but if you got the coin, you maybe can take the airship travel. It's usually only a couple of days.
Well, that might be an avenue. We'd have to make the coin for it.
And good luck, because the sort of flight dock up there is kind of one of those things that Lord Kaiji keeps an eye on. Flights in and out.
That's true. Well,
it's not like we have rail service like they do across the world. You go from major city to major city on fast as humanly possible on rail cars.
What do you all think?
Oh no, Rune, you have any input?
I think we do not have the coin at the moment.
I could provide you coin if you want to do some jobs.
Might be the easiest way.
Could always use more sandog hides.
This is an acceptable exchange.
Yeah, what do you have that's interesting?
Well, bullets, sandogs, and could always use more hides because I've got a really good customer who's really good at working with them to make them into armor for the guard. The other things that might be of interest might be to, there's a couple of bigger monsters out there. Could always use some giant worm teeth.
Okay.
Giant worm teeth are pretty good for dusting for arcane components. And, you know, she could always use more arcane components.
That's true. She could. I'll look around at everybody in the party. Should we go out hunting then? See what we can scare up? Bring back our spoils?
And dogs might be a good place to start.
Yeah.
It's good.
I agree. Let's prepare for the effort.
Excellent.
Well, you still have that bag that keeps things fresh, so...
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about it because it's on Lagon usually.
That's why I was reminding you of it.
Thank
A
you.
bag of colding.
Yep. We've still got meat in there too.
Yep. So you have...
Cured.
Yep.
Alright. Oh, it'll be good to practice to knock some of the rust off.
Yeah, you can show us what you're made of.
Like to see how you all work together as well. Let's get the blood flowing and get out of here. This should be fun. It's not glamorous, but it is bread and butter work.
Can't go wrong with bread and butter work.
This is true.
Right?
So, you make your way towards the outskirts of the city. And as you're passing by, there is some smoke coming from a portion of the slums. Long pillars of smoke.
Can we estimate where in the slums?
You kind of get a general idea, and that's where Father Masterson's church was.
If I realize that, I'm going to head that.
Yeah, Rune is beelining.
Vanya's the same.
All right.
Yeah, you'll see an old man moving a lot quicker than you think he should, taking very long, bounding strides.
And when you get there, this little shanty church and several of the buildings around it are burnt to the ground.
Vanya's gonna look around for Father Masterson. If he made it out.
You don't see Father Masterson anywhere. He's nowhere in the crowd. that's walking the streets out. The streets are oddly quiet as people are passing by.
She's gonna stop someone to see if they've seen him.
Where are the guard? What are the guard doing?
There are no real guards kind of in the area at the moment.
Rune is gonna walk into the church.
Yeah, I will join Rune. I want to look around.
There's very little left except for anything that was possibly made of metal. That was left as part of this church, or made of stone. The stone is charred. The wood is all burnt to cinders. The the interior is just black. The But you do see that there is a skeleton that's kind of taller than most humanoids. That just seems to have been strung up on the wall.
Rune's gonna
Such a
investigate
thing.
it.
Am I able to see, like, identify anything about this person?
That would be a medicine check.
Okay.
I can assist in that.
Okay, then it's at
Copy.
advantage.
Ooh, nice. Okay, 18, that's good. And a natural 1. We'll take the 18.
All right,
18 plus, that's a 23.
23. With this person being taller than the average human like yourself, and the face kind of having very flat sort of features, the arms and legs very sort of long when it comes to this charred sort of skeletal shape. Furbolg.
What was Father Masterson?
He
Furbolg.
was a purple.
How is he affixed to the wall?
Just kind of strung up like he'd been left there and not able to move.
Is there anything of remains, such as in a necklace or something that he used? For devotion.
You see his holy symbol, charred as it might be, maybe a little melted, is still present. But any clothing, any flesh, anything else, all of that is gone.
Rune gently takes the divine symbol and takes it off of the body. He grips it in his hand. And Kurobe, you can see Rune shaking.
He didn't deserve this. What would I know about funeral rites that his religion preferred?
You would know that with dedication to the Soul Forger, that it's pretty common to have a burial, if one could afford one. Otherwise, it would be with them being in the slums, his remains would probably just end up at some mass grave.
If you'll excuse me for a moment. I'm going to take my backpack off and get out a sack. And I'm going to very carefully start taking him down.
I'd like to assist in that.
Okay. Carefully, you start to take him down.
Anya would probably be coming into the church about that time.
We can at least give him a decent burial. If we're going out anyways, we can find a nice spot. He deserves that much at least. We will figure out who's going to pay for it. So I think we already know.
I think
Afterwards, I'll attach. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say afterwards, I would attach that to my pack and put my pack back on, and start heading out the gates.
Look on.
Yeah.
Sanctify Father Masterson's remains. I will stay with you.
Once we get to an appropriate site, I will do so.
Rune will nod.
And so, the Lucky Sevens, having found Father Masterson burned, are now taking him to an appropriate burial site. When you find this place to bury him, Lagon takes out his implements and begins to ritual cast Gentle Repose, praying to the Wild Mother to protect his remains from those who would do them harm, that he might rest. If this is indeed Father Masterson.
Rune will place the he will place the holy symbol upon the remains. And he will present himself down, having the sword of light come forth into the sands, scorching, electrifying it into glass. And he will do this as sort of a coffin. Around the body.
As he's doing this, Vanya is going to start softly humming one of the hymns she had been learning from Father Masterson.
All right. Strumming on her guitar, Vanya plays a soft tune, a hymn to the Soul Forger, a song of comfort in trying times. And I think that is where we are going to leave the session for tonight. Thank you guys for playing.
Coffee?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck you.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
We're sitting
There.
there telling you how we feel about our NPCs.
I know. I know.
Dear.
The stakes have been raised. The stakes have been raised.
The stakes have been raised. And they're gonna fucking come down on Lord Kaiji is what they're gonna do.
Yep.
Well, that is all that we have for this time. So, when did we lose Quingar?
A little while ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
We
he.
did?
Yeah, he was starting to fade off fast.
okay. Yeah, I see it now. I didn't realize before. But thank you to everyone who played. So, you guys are the best. I love you guys. Glad you guys came out to play. So, we have some things to finish up when it comes to the mechanics of the game. So, experience-wise, everybody gets their 5 for showing up.
I'm so sad.
I'm sorry.
Where do you keep track of experience on this sheet?
On the Roll20 sheet, you can pull up your character sheet. There's a slot for experience points, and so you just put it into there. And I do experience very arbitrarily because I'm the DM, and that's why. Because experience is arbitrary anyway.
Well,
I don't see a place
reasoning.
for experience.
Um,
Am I just blind?
if you
For
I got
the
class,
roll
subclass.
20
Putting it in a notepad, and whenever I level up, then level myself up on.
Or you could do
D&D
that.
Beyond roll.
yeah, either way that helps you keep track of it. There's
I'll just put it in my notes somewhere.
Yep. So, but that's the way that we do things. We do 5 for joining the session, for appearing at the table, and then for completing an objective of some kind, you get to anywhere between 1 and 10, as the mechanics primer tells you. In this particular instance, I'm gonna say it's 2 because you gained a powerful ally. So, you did gain a powerful ally in solidifying your relationship with General Sarek. So, or Sarex. I mispronounce his name all the time. But that is something that happened. And then we also do the role play things, much like we do.
How much XP was that? I didn't hear it.
2.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So for completing that objective, so that's a total of 7 for each player. And then we move on to some roleplay experience for those who put in some roleplay efforts. So, and we do that much like we do in VTM. So, who had the most influence in pushing the plot?
Am I allowed to vote for myself in this scenario?
You can.
Okay. I'm gonna say either myself or by circumstance of Kurobe showing up and giving us sort of a direction, effective guild stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also want to vote him.
So either yourself or Kurobe. So what's everybody else think?
What level did Kurobe start at? Is he at our?
Yeah, he's level 5.
So then I'd probably go for
Kurobe.
Rooney.
Sorry, what was your choice, Woden?
So then I'd probably go for Rooney.
Okay. And Vanya? Or Raven?
Kurobe.
Kurobe. Oh, so it's a 50-50 split between the attending characters here at the end.
And so,
I'll succeed to Kurobe because, yeah, we got.
Okay.
I mean, your situation kind of influences what we're doing next session. It's like,
All right. All right. Kurobe gets our move the plot. Best scene.
I really
Hmm.
liked a lot of the.
You liked a lot of what?
The flirting that Rune and Vanya did.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that.
Always.
Like I was thinking the book scene. That was kind of cute. I don't know.
That was fucking adorable. But also, my opinion
was.
doesn't matter. Because 100% I ship it.
That's where I come from.
I mean, me and everybody
we
else
ship
in
it
this
and we
cast.
have the art to prove it.
Me and everyone else in this damn cast. Okay, so that's one.
I'll go with that vote.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. For which
I will
character out of
succeed-
the scene?
I will succeed to Vanya.
Oh, okay. Any other takers for best scene? Black.
No, nothing was that good.
All right, all right. So I guess Vanya gets it.
Thank
Pixar, it
you.
didn't happen. Bruh, they're in the works. Spectre's making
They're in
them,
the
I
works.
promise.
About the second best love story of that whole episode was me and the dog giving him a big juicy bone.
Yes, he loved it.
Yes. Trying to win over Zephyr.
Yes.
Damn right, that's the most important thing.
Make sure the
I don't
puppy
care
likes
if-
you.
Yeah, I don't care if you all like me. Does the puppy like me?
That's a valid point. Who had her best line for the night?
I want to give that to Darius
Oh,
for his yes, gold can be power speech to
Ooh.
the general.
Ooh.
that was a pretty good
I-
one.
I'd have to second it because he was really having to tiptoe it, but at the same time, he still came across with his point.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was gonna say that even if it got his head chopped, kind of
Mhm.
energy.
Yeah.
And that's admirable.
Bruh, when you're going up against a paladin who has many years behind him, you better be careful what you say.
Darius over here talking shit like a proper rogue.
Great.
There's a reason
He's
he
got-
became general.
Look, all I'm gonna say is Darius is definitely his grandmommy's grandkid. All right.
He is definitely a person raised by Granny Noralai.
Yep.
Yes, Granny Noralai definitely instilled some very, very impish qualities into him. Ooh, Rune, you get the audience favorite for tonight.
That's cool.
Whoa!
Wow!
Thank you.
Yeah!
I am enjoying Rune.
But
He is a very good character.
so our best line is going to Darius then?
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will make a note and ping Demon Quingar for the night. But I hope you guys enjoyed this session. And I hope you guys out in the audience enjoyed watching. Yeah. I'm glad you guys liked this game.
I would like to apologize to the audience for my shitty internet making me talk over coffee constantly tonight.
When is that new?
I have to pretend to be civil. I have appearances.
Yeah.
Fair.
I just see what you did there. But but yes, we do love all of my cast members. All of them are great. Each of their Twitch tags are in are kind of on their little portrait around here, so give them all a follow because Ravenstar and that fat guy definitely do the streams now and again. So Raven, what you got coming up on the stream?
Well, with everything finally settling down around here, I'll be back on schedule with some Dead by Daylight coming up. Still gotta figure out when or if the killer race is happening this month, because everything just kind of fell apart for the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and with Fat Guy's internet being a little bit crap,
Too.
he
Yeah.
cannot sadly
Yeah.
participate very often. Not on
Yeah.
stream anyway.
Well,
But
if the killer race does happen again this month, it's probably just gonna be me and Panda.
yeah, well that would be
Yeah.
that would be an interesting race, just the two of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unless you can get some guest spots in, who knows? Maybe somebody will jump in. Who
I
knows?
might be able to poke either Derek or Lethality into joining.
Yep, because they're fun. They're definitely
Oh, yeah.
fun. Spectre occasionally does some art things. Are your commissions opening?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Well, get in line, because Spectre does wonderful art, and I love their art, and I want more of their art. So I may jump the line. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah. You guys should definitely follow Spectre because they do beautiful art. Just follow them all of their socials because it's all at Spectre Deflector. Uh, Maddie, fight you? What? What? Also give Maddie a follow because this story would not be possible without the Hero Zone. And we definitely love our heroes out there, out in Hero Zone land. So definitely give them a follow too, because otherwise, this story wouldn't have existed without Maddie Works. So yeah, there's that. But that about does it for us. If you're watching on YouTube, my links for my Twitch and all of my socials will be in the description below. Definitely, if you have more of the if you have more things that you want to watch from this channel, definitely check us out on YouTube, and of course, uh, definitely come back for the live show on Wednesdays and Thursdays because CoffeeCat presents Austin by Starlight and Rebirth in Detail live on Twitch. So definitely be checking out all of that. Rebirth is partially based on a nasty rumor spread by me, says Maddie. Well, I took it and ran with it. So there. But that does it for us here in the Dungeons and Dragons category. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And is it Thursday yet? Take a night, everybody.
Good night.
Alright.
Good night.
We're coming for you, Lord Kaiji. Mark my words.
Mm.